Welcome, everyone, to Saturday Night Cinema. As always, I am your host, Sawyer St. Sen. And tonight we are continuing on the Grindhouse route with talking about the corpse grinders. Now, but before we get into that, admire my new shirt. Yes, beautiful pinhead. So we got the nice little like Ouija on the side, and then this says pinhead, and it's fantastic. I just got it today. I'm so happy. So anyways, it's beautiful and I love it. Okay, so the corpse grinders. So it's by Ted V. Mickles. Now, some of you might recognize that name from, another pretty grindhouse movie called Astro Zombies. Do you know it? If you do, then you know who I'm talking about. He's also been a producer on a lot of other things like, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. That's the one. He produced that. Countless other ones he produced. So the Corpse Grinders, okay? This one back in 71, so it was released May 19th, 71. So its anniversary is coming up. It's as old as my father. Anyways, actually a couple months younger, I guess, than my father. But I digress. So at the time that the movie came out, the trailer, made it seem a lot edgier than what it really was. But there was a lot of buzz around it, a ton of buzz around it. And it's probably no, you know what? I won't say probably. It was his top grossing movie as a director. It made a lot more money than I think what he was even expecting it for it to make. But so we've got two kind of storylines happening in the beginning of what it feels like, right? So we've got this guy digging up graves. We see him, he's digging up graves. He's making, transactions with these gentlemen. They're picking up the bodies and hauling them off. He's pretty irritated because it doesn't seem like he's gotten paid for his work in a little bit, They owe him for, what did he say? 2,500 pounds of meat. And then, so we have this doctor and this nurse who, for some reason, have a cat in, a hospital, right? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have a cat in the hospital at a doctor's office. Or, anyways, whatever. So, the nurse is feeding the cat, and when she goes to leave, the cat, attacks the doctor out of, nowhere. And so they're oh, that was strange. But then they keep getting these bodies into the hospital that cats have attacked and torn out the jugular of this one woman, right? And so we have a Halloween 3 situation, right? Remember where the doctor and the daughter of the guy who, got run down by the Shamrock people, how they go to investigate everything themselves. So we have that situation with the nurse and the doctor, right? They're we got to figure this out. Why are all these cats attacking people? What is going on here? So they do some investigating and they find out the Lotus cat food that everyone seems to be buying for their cat because it's the most expensive, best brand, I guess, that's the common denominator for all these cats that have been attacking people. So they want to go down and talk to the Lotus people. Guess what, guys? The Lotus cat food people are the same people who are getting bodies from the cemetery. Y'all, that's right. We've got human meat, bones. Hell, at one point, someone is fully fucking dressed when they go into that grinder. Mixed with grains. So yeah, these people, like, it seems like the cat food, you know, they're like a main backer, you know, for their business, decides that he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He's out. He's the first one that they've, like, you know, knocked off and put in the grinder, I believe. Maybe he found out what they were doing before, but it seemed like he was the first one. But, like, you know, it seemed like they've, like, fallen into some financial trouble, even though it seems like everyone in, like, at least this town is buying their cat food. But, like, they, you know, maybe some financial trouble. They can't get the most quality ingredients for their cat food. So they just decide to dig up bodies. And then at one point, they, like, completely cut the, you know, Undertaker guy out, and they kill him and his wife. His poor wife. She didn't have a whole lot, you know, going on mentally, so I don't think that really she would have been any trouble to them. But she saw them dragging her husband's body out. So not only that, but then they start, like, killing homeless people on the street to get their meat, and they killed one of their employees. And then, like, the main dude killed his partner because he wanted all of the cat food money. I don't know. Seems like they were in financial trouble, so to knock off one person that you don't have to pay, I guess 2 people that you don't have to split some money with, like, and you're good. Also, guys, one of the workers is a one-legged mute lady. So she's deaf and she doesn't talk. And literally, guys, the sign language in the movie is literally just like this. I don't know. There was no real sign language. Listen, I'm not deaf. Nobody, like, immediately around me is deaf. But in some of the lines of work that I have done, I have had to help deaf people. You know, when you're in retail, or, like, back in the way back past when I was in pharmacy. Just for the sake, like, of things, learn some sign language. Don't be jerks and just act like you don't care. I understand that this was a low budget grindhouse movie, but, like, come on, guys. It's rude. This is rude. Not even caring what you're doing. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so there's been this private investigator following around certain people to try to figure out what happened, you know, to the big money guy, business guy who disappeared. And I'm thinking this whole time, I'm like, dude, this nurse and this doctor did all your work for you. There's nothing now that you need to do. But he comes in at the end of the day like a gunslinger, you know, shoots the, like, main guy. He's dead. And then all of a sudden all these cats start coming in and eating his body. So, I mean, and that's the corpse grinders. So, I mean, after watching this, I was like, shit. I should have done this one back when, you know, we talked about cats, the month of the cats, you know, and we talked about the Uncanny, which, fantastic movie. Love it. Still adore Mr. Cushing. fantastic. And then what was that other one that left me like really sad? I see it on Tubi all the time. Oh, Night of a Thousand Cats. Yeah. So so we now have a cat movie ranking, okay? So like it's like the Uncanny, and then like 9 steps below we have the Corpse Grinders, and then like right like at a half a step under is like Night of a Thousand Cats. I was really excited about Corpse Grinders. I was like, oh man, this thing looks like it's gonna be fantastic. And I was disappointed. I thought I was gonna get like a little bit more, I don't know, gore, which it was like rated like what, PG-13? I mean, look, okay, for nowadays standards, PG-13. Okay, then I can understand whatever. Nowadays, to be honest, like my 6-year-old probably wouldn't have had a problem with watching that movie, to be honest. So, I mean, it's free on Tubi. Free on Tubi. If you're interested, if you want to check it out, you might be disappointed, but again, free on Tubi. That's all I gotta say. So next week we are going to be talking about a movie that came out in '83. Technically it's still Grindhouse. It's just at the very like end of that Grindhouse movie, moment. Where like movies like this would have been like straight to video at that point, or getting close to being straight to video at that point, instead of being at like the low cost budget theaters, like with a double feature situation. So it is called Frightmare. It looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. I did watch the trailer for it. It said that a body comes, that a person comes back from the dead, and I'm all about I'm all about the dead have risen. Anyways, so we'll see how that goes. And then at the end of the month, I got a special one for you guys. Some of you out there have probably seen it, and I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the trailer countless times, but I haven't watched it yet. And I'm excited. But so, next week, Frightmare. We'll see you then. Bye.